Okay, so that brings us to 9 o'clock. So good morning, everyone. It is a huge privilege to be with you and to be able to explain the eXp model to you. So the purpose of this morning is it was kind of a collaborative effort between a whole bunch of the agents who've joined eXp in my broader eXp family, who've said, well, let's put a date in the diary and let's invite some guests, because we really do feel like eXp is a model which, although it does take a little bit of explaining, you actually have to sit and give yourself an hour of time to really listen to how the model works. That we have found that if agents are able to just get alone, close the door, switch their phone off, and listen for an hour, and actually have the model explain to them, that for many agents, not all agents, but for many agents, it proves to be the next move in their career. It proves to be, as some have said, a complete no-brainer of a decision once you understand how the model works. And so there's a bunch of people in my group that said, hey, let's collaborate and invite a few guests. And I'm pleased we've got so many people on the call today. So it falls to me to now present you with a clear and hopefully compelling explanation of how eXp Realty's model works, particularly in South Africa, although the model is the same all over the world, but I'm going to present it to you in rands and cents so that it makes most sense to you. So my story, very briefly, if you don't know who I am, that's not important, but I am a real estate trainer by profession. I've been a real estate trainer for I think it's just over 20 years. I've been in the real estate industry, and I have trained tens of thousands of agents, literally tens of thousands of agents through those 20 years. And I've got to really see a broad kind of exposure to the industry. I worked with all the top brands. I trained many agents. We did a lot of coaching, one-on-one coaching. I had a big one-on-one coaching program as well. And you know, life was good. Business had its ups and downs. The one thing that frustrated me about being a real estate trainer, and you can tell me in the chat roll if this relates to you, if you relate to this, is that I was never off the sort of treadmill of having to produce the next deal, you know, and I feel like I do share that with estate agents. And for all 20 years of the time that I was in real estate training, I was constantly trying to find another speaking engagement. I was trying to get another conference to speak at. I was trying to think of a new webinar to put on. I was trying to think of a new training program to put together. And you know, you can't just keep selling the same training course over and over and over and over again for year in and year out. You've got to find creative new ways of coming up with something. And I think a lot of estate agents relate to that. You know, you guys, you work hard for the money that you make. It's an incredibly difficult industry. You guys are so I see a few hands going up, guys. I'm not going to take questions during the presentation. Unfortunately, we don't have time for that today, but you can put your questions in the chat roll if you've got. You guys are incredibly hard workers. Anybody that thinks you can get into real estate and make, you know, you make 100,000 Rand when you sell a house and it's easy money. Well, I mean, you know, you've never been an estate agent if that's your opinion of real estate. You guys work hard. You take a lot of frustration. You absorb a lot of failure. You get a lot of rejection. You have a lot of emotional ups and downs, because just as something is about to come off, some spanner is thrown in the works of your deals and they fall apart at the last minute. Most people do not have the kind of emotional journey that you guys have as estate agents. And so it's a tough industry. And the cold, hard reality of it all is that all of the emotional difficulty of their journey, the rejection and the hard work of it all starts again on the 1st of January every year. And in fact, we could say it starts again on the 1st of every month. You know, you guys are, you don't create any kind of passive income with what you do. You have no pension plan. You have no exit plan from this industry. And I don't care how much money you make. You could be doing 5 million rand in commission a year, but you start at 0 on the 1st of January next year. There is no exit plan. And so when I looked at eXp's model for the first time, I was approached by an ex-client of mine now living in Canada, who said to me, hey, Stephen, there's this company coming to South Africa. This was before they launched here. Said, you need to have a look at this business because they are changing the way real estate works around the world. They are a complete market disruptor. And I was hearing phrases like they are the Netflix of real estate. You know, the Netflix came into the sort of home entertainment industry, and they completely obliterated the traditional form of home entertainment. So in South African terms, that would be like I guess like a Mr. Video. Or I don't think we had Blockbusters. We had some Blockbusters. So Blockbusters was the big one in America, multi-billion-dollar industry. And Netflix have completely destroyed the DVD shop, the local DVD shop. And the same thing with Uber. Uber have vastly changed the public transportation landscape. And with both of those examples, you know, Netflix don't own one DVD. They don't own a DVD store in your neighborhood. Uber do not own any vehicles. Airbnb do not own any properties. All these businesses that have come in and completely changed their industry, all they are is just a clever app. They're a clever bit of technology. Now, that is what I was told. This is what eXp have done. They've got this technology that has completely reshaped how the industry works. And so I was intrigued. I took a look at eXp, and the moment I saw the model explained, as I'm going to explain it to you today, I immediately, my heart began to flutter. I began to sense an opportunity here. I went home. I did a whole bunch of research into the company. I had to get to a point where I was satisfied with the ethics of this business, with the people and leadership of the business, and the particular partners that I would go into business with within the revenue sharing system. And having done all my research, I was satisfied to all of those details, and I joined eXp on the first day they launched in South Africa. I was, other than the principal of the business, Andrew Thompson, and my sponsor, Bill Campbell, I think I was the third agent, if not in the top 5 of South Africa on the first day they launched. And it's been an amazing journey. I've been in eXp for 3.5 years, and it has been all and more of what I had thought it would be. The revenue sharing opportunity has been what I wanted, and that's what I was chasing, but I've had so many other things that I've benefited from. I've built incredible friendships and relationships with agents all around the country, and I wasn't expecting that. I didn't anticipate how collaborative and how healthy the culture of eXp is compared to other real estate businesses. It really is a phenomenally friendly, collaborative culture, and I've been blessed by that. Not only that, but the technology of the company. I think I did expect eXp to have good tech, but they are constantly launching new things for our agents. We've just had the iBid system, which is an offer management system, which is phenomenal. That's just been launched recently. Yesterday, I saw another announcement from Javi, who's the operations manager for eXp South Africa. It just launched a whole development marketing system on our listing system. So if you are involved with marketing developments, you can now list your developments on eXp's website, and they've got a whole section there. So there's all the stuff that's continually being launched by eXp, and I guess you should expect that. This is one of the world's biggest real estate businesses. It's America's largest real estate company. It's the fastest growing global real estate company in history. So, and it's a tech business. So we would imagine good technology, but you know, just every time something like this launches, I'm again just impressed and so pleased that I'm with this company. Okay, so that's all by way of introduction. I want to now get into talking about how eXp's model works and what I would suggest that you do. The first thing I suggest that you do after you leave here today, if you're here as a guest today, is go and do some homework. Do exactly what I did. you don't want to jump into a business or an opportunity where you haven't done your homework. And no one is asking you to do that here. If eXp is everything that I am going to say today that it is, then the homework will bear that out. The homework will confirm what I'm telling you. So go and do a whole bunch of homework. One of the ways you can do that is we've put up a page on the Model Explained website where we've just collated a whole bunch of resources globally that you can go and look at. There's videos that we've created within our team. We've done interviews with South African agents, but then there's also industry specialists like this guy, Mike Del Pre, top right-hand corner there. He's just an industry commentator. He spoke at the Inman conference this last year, speaking about eXp from an outsider's perspective. There's replays of events in America. There's interviews with Glenn Sanford, the founder of the company, the former CEO of the business. He is the founder. He's actually just appointed a new CEO, which is very exciting. So get on that page, jump in, lose some sleep tonight, and go and do a bunch of homework. Also, if you want to just get on the internet, get on to, so Ash, that's not actually the link, that's the Model Explained link. If you click the button below the Model Explained video that says Learn More, it's going to take you to that page. So this is, if somebody else can put that link in here to this homework page. If you're a guest here, click the link once it's in the chat roll. It'll open it. There we go. Thanks, Ash. It'll open it in another tab. Then leave that tab open and come back to the Google Meeting tab. And then spend the rest. Don't get distracted by that page while we're doing the webinar together. Okay, so go and do some homework. I'm going to tell you today about the 4 aspects of eXp's model that have disrupted the industry. And if you could sort of summarize it in a word, what has changed this business's, the way this business has changed the industry is because they give you an exit plan. So it's that thing that I was talking about that is the biggest frustration was to me and is to many agents, that there is no exit plan. There's the moment you stop working as an estate agent, you stop earning, and that's the end of it. You could work for the same company for 30 years, and the moment you leave Pam Golding, the next month you make 0. There is no exit plan. Well, eXp have solved that problem. And there's 2 main areas in which this exit plan functions. Number 1 is you can build up a sizable dollar-based shareholding in the business. So as I'll explain to you later, eXp is listed on one of the major stock exchanges of America, the NASDAQ stock exchange. It's the tech stock exchange of America. So eXp is one of the major stocks, tradable and listed in the States. You are going to get given shares in the business by doing what you're already doing at your current company. And over a period of time, that dollar-based shareholding, which is put in a Morgan Stanley account for you by eXp, they open a Morgan Stanley account for you, that can become a sizable rand value asset as you work as an agent over the next few years. The second way that the exit plan is made available is through eXp's revenue sharing system. And this is something that I'm going to take time today explaining to you, because it is an absolutely groundbreaking, phenomenal concept where eXp say they make, let's say, 25% of all of their agents' transactions, and that instead of keeping it, they're actually willing to pay out 20% of that 25 back into the community of agents. So what they do is they actually share the revenues of the whole company with the agents. And if you put yourself in a position to earn a bigger and bigger slice of that pie, that can become phenomenal. I'm not just talking extra pocket money. We're talking genuine multi-generational wealth through the revenue sharing system, because it's willable. You can leave your revenue share to your heirs when you die. So that is something that is completely game-changing. I look forward to explaining it to you later. The other thing you're going to notice when you see eXp's model today is how eXp gives you the opportunity to essentially run your own business. Now, if you're anything like me, you don't like people micromanaging you. You don't like your principal looking over your shoulder. You don't want to have to be in the office 3 days a week because your manager says to you that you've got to be. You don't want to have to attend meetings that you think are irrelevant to you. You don't want to have to answer to your principal once a week. How many listings have you got? How many presentations have you done this week? How many doors did you knock on? How many flyers have you done? Give me the spreadsheet of your listings for the week. I mean, do you enjoy that? Do you want someone to micromanage you? Now, I'm not saying that there are not people in this world who need to be micromanaged. I think there are people in this world who need to be micromanaged because they don't have the discipline and the entrepreneurial drive to run their own business. But you know what? The kind of agents that we are attracting to eXp are not the agents that need their hand held. eXp is an environment which works very well for agents who are independent, mature, can stand on their own 2 feet, and are looking for a platform that allows them to be completely independent without having to start their own real estate business in the country. You see, if you want to start a real estate business in South Africa, you've got to register, you've got to be an NQF level 5 principal. You've then got to register a PDY limited as a company, and you've got to then register them with the PPRA. That needs a trust account, that which needs to be audited every year. You then need to employ staff to run your business. You also are going to then have to have memberships, a P24 membership, a private property membership, a Lightstone membership, a virtual agent membership, a CRM system, a listing system, and the list goes on and on. You're going to have to provide training for your agents. You're going to need brick and mortar. You're going to need an office space on the corner of or in some shopping center or something. You're going to need an office. There are many agents that we've met who've joined eXp that have said, I want the independence of running my own business, but I don't want any of that other stuff. I want to build my business on somebody else's platform. Well, that's exactly what eXp allows you to do. It's phenomenal. Okay, eXp was started by Glenn Sanford. I mentioned him earlier. He was in South Africa for the Build conference earlier this year, and I got the privilege of interviewing him. You can catch that interview on that resources page that I showed you earlier, where you're going to do your homework. It's one of the videos that you can connect on through that. He's a phenomenal guy, a really humble guy, but he has, I mean, he's the guy that will go down in history as the guy that disrupted the real estate industry in the 21st century. And that's just a fact of history now. So he started the business in 2009. So it is only, what's that, 14, 15 years old. And within 15 years, and that is a very short space of time when you start a business, within 15 years, eXp have gone from 0 to 89,000 agents in 24 countries. It was for many years the fastest growing real estate company in America. Now the fastest real estate company, the fastest growing real estate company globally. And we are the fastest growing real estate company in South Africa's history. We've been open in South Africa 3.5 years, and we already have 1,100 agents after 3.5 years. You find me another company that has done that in South Africa's history. I mean, we've absolutely 10x'd what any other company has done. Why? Why all this growth? Why has this business gone from nothing to this global world changer? And by the way, nobody put more people in homes in America last year than eXp. They did the most transactions of any real estate company in America last year. That is absolutely mind-blowing after 15 years. When you compare, you know how massive the States is. You know how complex it is to expand a business through 52 states of America and overtake in just 15 years companies like Remax, Keller Williams, Corcoran, Better Home and Garden, and companies like Sotheby's that have been around for years and years and years and years. eXp have just come on the scene and overtaken everyone. Now, why is that? Like, what is it about this business? Well, that is what I'm going to explain to you today. The model of this business is completely disruptive. So thanks to Glenn for what he did. eXp South Africa is a company which obviously was started by eXp Global. What they do when they go into a new country is they start a company in that country, which they own 100%. It's not a franchise. And then they employ a local staff complement. eXp South Africa has been particularly successful in their global story. I think with a sort of outstanding success in the world with 1,100 agents, and our team, I think we've got 15 staff members now, are absolutely phenomenal. Now, I just actually dropped a fact for you, which you might have missed. eXp have got, I think it is 15 staff members, maybe 16, but 15 or 16 staff members. We have got 1,100 agents all around the country. Now, you compare that with a traditional brokerage that's got, even like a big brokerage in South Africa has got like 400, 500 agents. If they were all over the country, not in a single geographic location, that company would have 50, 60 staff members. If you look at like a Pam Golding, they've got 2,000 agents, I think, so a little less than double the size of eXp at this point. I think they've got hundreds of staff members, literally hundreds of staff members. eXp, we've got 1,100 agents, we've got 15 staff members. How does that work? Because the technology is so good. Just park that fact in your mind. This is not a normal real estate business. Something is completely different here. Okay. So Andrew Thompson is the leader of eXp South Africa. He's done a phenomenal job. He's been at the helm the whole time, and he has built the fastest growing real estate company in South Africa's history, and he's supported by a phenomenal team of transaction specialists who will help you with your transactions, training. Stuart Hislop is our trainer. There's endless training, which we'll get into later, and others. Okay, I could introduce all of those people to you. Okay, so let's compare the traditional model of real estate with what eXp have done, because I keep saying they're a market disruptor, they do things completely differently. Let's address that thing now. What is it that has disrupted the industry? Well, on the left-hand side of that screen, you're going to see a representation of the traditional model of real estate. This is how real estate has worked for 100 years all around the world. And this is true of whether you are a global real estate company like a Remax or a Sotheby's or a Keller Williams, so global, or whether you are a South African like franchise company like a Property Koza or a Pam Golding or a Steve or a Remax or a Jarvitz, not a Remax, a Jarvitz or whatever. They all work with the same model, basically. This is just how real estate works. At the top of this pyramid-shaped structure, you've got the owners of the business. So in the case of a big global company like Keller Williams, do the agents own the company? No, the agents have no ownership in the business. Keller Williams is owned by Gary Keller. Same with Remax. Remax is owned by, what's the guy's name? Dave Liniger, the head of the owner of Remax. So you have an ownership of the business. That's already an important point, that the agents are not the owners. They just are employees of the business. And this ownership structure has got some kind of expense structure. There's obviously a support structure that surrounds the owner of the business. And there is an expense structure, and the owners of the business obviously get very well compensated for their ownership of the company. That's why they own the company. So there's a massive layer of expense at the top here, because the owners are taking profits and making most of the money in the business. Right below them, there's another layer now, which also has bricks and mortar, office space, employees, and all of the expenses that come along with a large office, which is the international head office of, let's say, Keller Williams and Remax as an example. Or you could take Anywhere as an example. Who are Anywhere? They're actually the largest listed real estate conglomerate in the world. Anywhere they own Sotheby's, they own ERA, they own Century 21, they own two of the big American brands, Corcoran and Better Home and Garden. So that's Anywhere. So you could take anywhere as well. They've also got an international head office, and you could go and visit that head office. You could go and walk in the big glass doors at the big impressive parking lot and the multi-story building with all the staff members running around inside and doing what they do. There's a huge expense layer at their international head office. Okay, regional, what these guys do at the international head office now is they sell regions to people who come along and buy a region. Or if they don't sell regions, they certainly set up regional offices. So in South Africa, if you want to go to the Remax head office, all you got to do is if you're in Cape Town, you get in your car, you drive down the road to Gabriel Road in Plumstead, and there you're going to see Remax's head office in South Africa. I'm sure Keller Williams has got a head office somewhere in South Africa. Well, all of that, if you now multiply that through every country of the world, there's a regional thing, and every state in America. Now we're starting to rack up, tens of millions of US dollars worth of brick and mortar expense for all of the regional offices around the world. Okay, now, if you work at a regional office, let's say you work at Remax in Plumstead, what's your job? What's your job as the regional head in the regional office of a global company within some region? Your job is single-fold. You are there to sell franchises. That's how the model works. So we sell or open company-owned franchises. That's another sort of hybrid to the model. Like Pam Golding, for example, half of the Pam Golding franchises are sold, they sell them to the franchise owner, and half are company-owned franchises. It's almost like an office, like a sort of local office. But either way, these local franchises, every single one of them has got an office somewhere in a shopping center or on the corner of a street where there's signage and a light box window where they've got all their listings in the window that hopefully people will wander past and come inside and speak to the agent who's on duty. Now, what I want you to do is, in your mind, do a little mental calculation, which is actually pretty difficult to do, but we can estimate it, of how much, if you were to add up, let's take Remax as an example, every Remax office on the corner of every street of every city in the world. If you were to add up, I think somebody did it, maybe Paul, you can remind me what it was. It was like 5,000 local offices or something. Was it 8,000? 9,000, okay. So Remax has got 9,000 offices. And in Rand value, what would the average office cost per month? I know recently Ada told me one of the Keller Williams offices in Cape Town costs them 300,000 Rand a month. So let's say you just go with 100,000 Rand a month for the average office. What's 100,000 Rand times 9,000 offices? Maybe somebody can put that in the chat roll. That's just too many noughts for me. I can't even calculate that. 100,000 Rand a month for 9,000 offices. Come on, Paul, tell me, how much is that per month that Remax are in for? 900 million Rand a month. Okay, now you times that by 12 months, you're looking at about 10 billion Rand. 10 billion Rand a year on brick and mortar expense. Okay. Now, so next question is, who pays for that? Like, where does the 10 billion Rand come from that feeds this beast? Well, it comes from the agents. The agents are the only people making any money in this thing. So the agents run around and they experience all the stress and uncertainty and the emotionalism and all that of it. And they do a deal and they make 100,000 Rand commission on a deal, and they have to now pay normally 50-50. I take 50,000 of my 100,000 and I give it to my franchise owner, my principal. And what does the principal do with that? Well, the principal starts paying, starts paying some of it up to the regional and some of it up to international, and the rest he's paying all this brick and mortar expense. what the principal does is he keeps that 50% or 40% or 30% or whatever you are busy giving your principal on your deals. They keep it. Why do they keep it? Because they have to. Because they've got to feed the beast. There's 10 billion rands worth of expenses to cover every year. So the agents are the ones. Now, so here's the question. Do the agents in this traditional model of real estate, do they have any ownership in the company? No. Do the agents participate in the revenues of the company? No. All they can do is make money from their own sales, and then they give a huge chunk of their own sales to feed the beast. And what do you get in return for that? Can I ask you? If you're a guest here today, guys, one of the things you're going to learn about me is that I'm not a man of guile. I'm not going to charm you. I am going to just tell you what I believe. You're going to get the unvarnished. You're going to get my opinion here today. Obviously, you're free to disagree with me, and you can argue with me, but I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay, so, don't get cross with me. I'm not criticizing you and your company. What I'm telling you is fact. This is the fact of the matter of how real estate works. And I'm simply asking you to ask the question, what do you get in exchange for the split that you give your company at the moment? I mean, really. So what eXp do, Glenn Sanford comes on the scene. He takes a look at all this. He was a Keller Williams agent himself. He had a $100 million Keller Williams team. And he looks at this model and he said, you know what? Like, we are doing most of our work with our clients. This is in 2008. We're doing most of our work with our clients online anyway. Like, we hardly ever go into the office. We do everything on websites, and he was quite a techie guy. He used to build websites for estate agents and that. So he was a bit ahead of the curve on the tech side of things. And in 2008, when the global economic crisis happened and everything collapsed in America, he just said, well, I'm going to take this opportunity to experiment with something. I'm going to start a company that has no bricks and mortar. The whole business is going to just run in the cloud. And we're going to support agents maybe all over the city where he started, and then, wow, all over the state. And then, hang on, we could do this all over the country. This is working all over the country. And here we are now 15 years later, and it's 24 countries around the world. And to this day, eXp, we've got 89,000 agents. We've got something like 3,000 employees worldwide. We're in 24 countries, and we do not own one building. Not one. There's no head office. Everybody works from home. And they've built the fastest growing real estate company in history without one office. You know what that means, guys? That means that there is 10 billion rand that has been swept off of the table into a bucket, which is now available. Now, what's Glenn going to do with this 10 billion rands worth of profit every year? What's he going to do? Is he going to keep it? No. He's going to make a huge chunk of that cash, 50% of it, he makes available to pay out. They do pay out 50% of the revenues of the company every year to the agents. You can get a bigger and bigger slice of that cake if you want it. That's what the revenue sharing system does. The other thing Glenn said is, if we are going to build a business, I want the agents, the ones who make all the money in the company, I want them to be the owners of the company. Because what Glenn did is he said, if I were to leave Keller Williams and join a real estate company, what would I want it to do for me? Like, in an ideal world, what would the best real estate company in the world do? And this was his answer to the question. So he said, okay, well, I'm going to start that company. In this company, the agents are going to be the owners of the business, and the agents are going to participate in the revenues of the company. And then as they work as agents, they're going to be on a really good split, a competitive split better than what they could probably get in their country, and they're going to be given unbelievable technology to run their own businesses on. That's really the basis of the idea behind eXp. So on the right-hand side of that slide, you've got eXp's model. The agents are at the top. They're the owners of the business. They do, obviously, the company has to make some profit. So eXp take a split on the agent's commissions, but that split every year has got a cap on it. eXp only want a certain amount from their agents. And then after you've reached that amount on your split, you keep all of your commission to yourself, except 4%. 4% will continue to be paid to eXp Global. But you, as you're going to see, you're on a 71% split with eXp at the beginning of your year. And when you've paid in 150,000 Rand, if you get to that point, 600,000 gross commission, you will then, from that point on, be capped, and you'll keep 96% of your commission for the rest of the year. So you can essentially keep, it's not 100%, 96% of your commission. You're one of the owners of the company, and you run your own business based on a cloud-based platform that gives you unbelievable technology to be independent. Okay, so that's the comparison of the traditional models, and I do always take a bit of time on that slide, because essentially that's one of my main jobs here today, is to get you to understand what has happened with eXp. Why is it so disruptive? And hopefully that has answered the question. We're a cloud-based business. The next question we want to ask is it working? So clever idea, Glenn. You know, congratulations for being creative, but is it working? Well, this is a slide from Mike Del Preet's presentation at the Inman conference last year. Inman is a huge industry conference, real estate industry conference in America. And Mike Del Preet is not an eXp guy, he's just an industry commentator. And he did his talk on disruption in real estate. You can actually see his whole talk on that follow-up resources page. That the link is in the chat bar for you. This is one of the videos that I showed you. In fact, let me show that to you. On that follow-up resources page, if you don't get the link for whatever reason, ask the person who invited you today, they'll email this to you. The top right-hand corner there, you see that talk. I don't know if you can see my mouse on the screen. I don't know if you can see it. I'm busy wobbling it. Okay, great. That is the talk that Mike Del Preet gave. You can go and watch it. This is a slide that came out of his talk. I took a little screenshot of it, where he compared the profitability of the major listed real estate companies in America with eXp. So up until last year, the other fastest growing real estate company in America was a company called Compass. They had a very different model. They were acquiring real estate businesses. So they went around America, and I think may still be, buying small to medium-sized real estate brokerages. And they bought so many brokerages in America that it made them the second fastest growing company in America, behind eXp. But if you look at their profit and loss in the first quarter, this is 3 months. In the first quarter of last year, they made a $65 million loss. Now, guys, you don't have to be an MBA student to know that you can't lose $70 million a quarter for very long. That is unsustainable. The next one up is Anywhere, which is actually nowhere, because this is the largest listed real estate conglomerate in the world. Okay, let's see how they're doing financially. So this is Sotheby's, ERA, Century 21, Corcoran, Better Home and Garden. Okay, they made in the first quarter of last year a $50 million loss. Guys, the brick and mortar model of real estate is collapsing. It is too expensive. And then you've got companies like eXp coming on the scene that offer agents a much better split, much better technology, independence, shareholding in the business, and revenue share if they attract other agents to the company. And now, you know, the traditional agencies are still expecting you to go into a local office and pay 50% of your commissions for the privilege of going into an office and being micromanaged. It might work for some, but I bet it's not working for you. I bet it's not working for you. The reason you're on this webinar this morning with me is because wherever you are right now is not working for you. You are looking for a better opportunity. Well, look no further than eXp. And hopefully the story of eXp corroborates that. Then you've got a couple of other companies. The only really profitable real estate company that we've got the numbers on in America was eXp Realty in the first quarter of last year. They made I think it was a $16 or $18 million profit in the first quarter of last year. And this was in a major financial downturn in America. eXp are still profitable. Why? Because they don't have the massive brick and mortar expense that is sinking the traditional model. All right, 4 disruptive pillars. I'm going to tell you what these 4 pillars are. Now, I've already talked a lot around these 4 things. I've kind of been doing it in a loose introductory type manner, but let me just formalize it for you. The 4 disruptive pillars of eXp, I'm going to go through them 4 now, one by one, and that's the webinar for today. That's once I've finished with these 4, we're done. The first thing is a phenomenal technology platform which allows you to run your own business using eXp's platform. The second is a phenomenal training platform. So eXp provides more training than any real estate company on the planet, and higher quality training than any real estate company on the planet. And there are a number of reasons for that, which I will justify when we get there. Number 3 is the stock award. So you can build up a shareholding in the company, and I will explain how the stock awards work. And then lastly is the revenue sharing system of eXp. Now, how does that work? You can start getting paid in addition to your sales and in addition to your stock awards, the shares in the company that you get given. In addition to that, you can also start getting paid on a monthly basis a percentage of the company's revenues. Now, how do you do that? How do you get a bigger and bigger part of the revenues paid to you every month? Well, by helping grow the company. Isn't that how normal business works? If you start a traditional real estate company, you're going to grow the business. You're going to attract or recruit agents, and you're going to put them in an office. And the more agents you recruit, hopefully the more the revenues of the business will grow. Well, it's the same with eXp. eXp grows by the agent count growing. And so what eXp will do is, if you help the agent count grow, they are going to pay you a percentage of the revenues of the company, a bigger and bigger. So that's why it says revenue share. How do you get it? From agent attraction, by attracting other agents to the company. And I'm going to explain how that works a little bit later. So let's go through these things one by one. Phenomenal technology platform. I'm going to give you the basics of the platform today. I'll mention a couple of the systems we work with. But if you want to look at all of the technology that we have, my suggestion to you would be get together with the person who invited you today. After today, do a bit of homework of your own, but get back together with the person who invited you and ask them to show you our listing system and our offer management system and our whatever, our CRM system. Get them to show you the systems. Okay, but here are the basics. What does it cost to get onto the platform? It's a 900 Rand onboarding fee. And then to be on the platform, it's 900 Rand per month. So there's what they call a cloud fee of 900 Rand per month. So that's what's going to cost you to be at eXp, 900 bucks a month. What split are you on? Just listen carefully now. You're on a 71-29 split at eXp, 71-29 at the beginning of your anniversary year. Why do I say 71-29 when the slide on the screen says 75-25? Well, that's because you pay 25% of your commissions to eXp South Africa, but there is a further 4%, which you're going to see at the bottom of that slide. A 4% international fee will apply. 0.5% of that goes to social responsibility in South Africa. So you're going to pay 4%, sometimes we call it a transaction fee or an international fee, and 25% to eXp South Africa. So those together are 29%. Let's just call it what it is. It's a 71% split. Okay. However, the 25% that you pay to eXp South Africa has a cap on it, which is good news. The maximum amount you can pay in on your 25% on your deals as you're doing your deals, once you have paid in 150,000 Rand in your anniversary year, eXp South Africa say, thank you very much. We don't want any more from you. For the rest of your anniversary year, you keep it all. All you're going to pay is the 4% transaction fee on your deals. So what that means is, up until, now listen carefully, 600,000 gross commission, because then you would have paid in 25%, which is 150,000 Rand. When you've done 600,000 gross commission, up until that point, you're on a 71% split. After 600 gross commission, you then keep 96% for the rest of the year. How does that sound? We've got agents that have come to eXp that are making R1 million a year more just on the split and capping system. It's not even the revenue share and the stock awards and the independence and all of the other benefits. They are making R1 million a year more just on the split. That's true of Brad Neal. That's true of Lisna Nell. In fact, Lisna's making more than R1 million a year. So guys, I hope that's compelling. You know, crunch your numbers. One of the little videos on our resources page, that link you're going to go and visit after today to do some homework. One of on that page, there's a commission comparison calculator. Go and watch that little video. There's a little orange button. You can click it and actually download the Excel spreadsheet where you can plug in your own numbers. Go and do the calculation of how much you are earning with your current company versus how much you will earn on this capping system. It might surprise you how much more money that you'll make with eXp. Okay, so what systems do we get access to? For the 900 Rand a month, you get obviously access to all of eXp's platform and systems, which includes a listing system called Rep. When you load your listings on Rep, they automatically syndicate to Property 24 and Private Property. You get unlimited listings and unlimited leads and unlimited clicks on both portals, all included in your 900 Rand a month. Now, the reason I go into that little bit of detail is because if you've been an employee at another company, that probably won't stand out because that's what you're used to having anyway. But if you are on this call today and you are a small business owner, what I've just said has got your attention. I know that because at the moment you are paying just for your P24 membership, you're probably paying 5,000 Rand a month. I'd actually love to know if there is a real estate, a small to medium-sized real estate company owner on the call, or maybe you're an eXp agent and you used to have your own business. I'd love to know, sorry, don't put your hand up. I'd love to know in the chat bar, how much do you pay or did you pay just for your P24 membership every month? I'd love to see that number. Because, I mean, I've done this. So, Ashley, 7,000 Rand a month plus minus, 7 grand a month. That's just P24. Now you add on to that Private Property, Lightstone for your deeds office information, virtual agent to get property owner details, a CRM system like PropCon, which you get with eXp, and a listing system. James Edition. So if you've got a listing over 10 million Rand with eXp South Africa, it automatically syndicates to James Edition, which is a luxury real estate portal. So James Edition, Ashley says, is 50,000 Rand. I presume that's 50,000 Rand a year for James Edition membership. So My Home app, My Home, I'm not sure who that is. Sorry, I didn't get your name. But between 4.5 and 7,500 rand a month for one agent. I mean, guys, the expenses on small to medium-sized real estate business owners is just exorbitant. With eXp, for 900 rand a month, you get everything I've just mentioned: unlimited clicks, unlimited leads, a CRM system, Lightstone membership, virtual agent membership, iBid, which is our offer management system, which is phenomenal, our development system. You get everything for 900 rand a month. It's phenomenal. And we can go into that further. PropCon, the best CRM system in the country, as far as I'm concerned, for South Africans. You get a PropCon membership as well. Phenomenal CRM system. You also get access to our Workplace and WorkChat accounts. Workplace and WorkChat are actually Facebook. It's a Facebook app, but it's built for companies. So it's an internal communication tool which works exactly like Facebook. It's developed by Facebook. eXp has got the largest Workplace and WorkChat accounts in the world, actually. That's a phenomenal stat, that. So if I want to connect with any eXp agent in the world, I simply go onto WorkChat and I send them a direct message to their phone. And I often do that. I'm often communicating with overseas agents. In fact, I just had a communication with a guy in the States this morning, and that's all through Workplace and WorkChat. We are a phenomenally collaborative business. We literally are one community worldwide. And you're going to see that as you start visiting some of our meetings. I'd encourage you, come to one of our family time meetings. Family time is my team meeting that I run every 2 weeks on a Monday morning. So next family time is next week, Monday morning. Come along as a guest. Get the link from the person who invited you here today. You're welcome. Come and you just have to sit on the sidelines. You don't have to say anything. And just check out. You know, we normally get 100, 150 of our agents in family time. Nobody has to come, but they come because it's a great way to make friends. And I normally get a guest speaker, or I do some training, and we thank one another and we share success stories together. It's awesome. I've had so many agents come to a family time meeting and say, you know what, like this is a group of agents all around the country, and yet they've got better friendships. The culture is better. The sense of humor is clean. I love this group of people. This is better than the local office, which I go into every day of my life. Okay, so I get a bit of a ramble here about our collaborative culture, but it's a good ramble because it's true. So that's Workplace and WorkChat, great apps. Okay, let's talk about the branding. When you join eXp, you've got a couple of options on branding. Obviously, everything is in place. If you choose to be an eXp agent, you get access to all sorts of templates and artwork that you can download. Now, yes, you do have to pay for the production of your own marketing materials, okay? Because remember, with eXp, you own your own business. It's like being a business owner on somebody else's platform, but anything that you want to produce, so boards or business cards or directional signage or decals for your car or feather banners for your show houses, all that stuff, while the designs are available, you can download the designs and just give them to your screen printer. You have to pay for them to be produced. Okay, just be aware of that. There's all sorts of things that you can order. We do have a company that you can order from, but you're welcome to use your own printers if you want to. What I really want to talk about is the flexibility of the branding options, because this is an important discussion. When you join eXp, you've got one of two options. You can either brand yourself as an eXp agent, which does make sense. I mean, we've got a great brand. All of the templates and artwork for your business cards and your boards and your flyers, etc. It's all in place. You just have to download it. So there's no graphic design expense that you've got to go to. We have an entire marketing center that you can log into as part of. This is another one of the platforms I haven't told you about. You get into this marketing center and you can produce social media content. You can produce presentation folders. You can produce little videos to put on social media for your listings, flyers, postcards, brochures, anything you want. You just click at a few clicks of a button and it produces the resources for you. Okay, so that's if you're an eXp branded agent. However, if you have a local brand that you have been building up, like My Home app, My Home, whoever that was, sorry, I missed the name there. Let's say I'm presuming that's someone's small business. If they want to be My Home powered by eXp, they can be. They don't have to lose the brand that they've been building up in their area for the last few years, and it's got good traction, and they want to be that brand. They don't have to lose it. All they have to do is add the Powered by eXp logo next to their logo, and off they go. You can keep your website, you can keep your email addresses, you can keep your colors, you can keep all of your branding. You've just got to have that Powered by eXp logo. So what this is enabling small business owners to do is, behind the scenes, they shut down the legal entity of the company. They deregister from the PPRA. They close all of their P24 memberships, all their memberships, all their software. They shut down all the expenses and the legal admin. They are no longer the principal of the company, technically no longer the principal of the company. So they don't have to be an NQFI principal. They don't need a trust account. They don't need the audits. Everything is stripped out behind the scenes, but to the general public, it looks like it's just now My Home app powered by eXp. They don't see much difference. The website still remains. Everything is the same. But behind the scenes, the person has stripped out all of the expenses and all of the admin of being a principal. Guys, it is phenomenal. It is like a dream come true what eXp do for small business owners. Okay, so if you want to do that, you can keep your brand. So this is an example of some of the companies that have built their own brands. And by the way, if you want to start your own brand, like Christine Appel Properties, that didn't exist before Christine joined eXp, but she wanted to build her own brand, Christine Appel Properties, and that's what she's done. So you can go to her website, christineappel.co.za, and all of her stuff is branded with her own. She's gone for a black and white color scheme, but you could be like Michael Price, the guy on the right. He's this bright, luminous green brand in PE. He actually drives a green Porsche around PE. He's a high-profile guy, and he's just building his business on eXp's platform, doing a great job. Okay, so that's the branding. Additional income streams. This is the last thing I'm going to say on the platform. Remember, we're looking at the 4 pillars. The first one is the platform. We're still on pillar number 1, is additional income streams. One of the best things about being an agent with eXp is eXp do not want to participate in any of the additional income streams that you can negotiate as an agent. For example, bond fees. So I don't know what happens with your company at the moment, but we've got a relationship with Multinet. In fact, my group within eXp is so big that they've dedicated a consultant just to my group. Her name is Amanda Bond, and Amanda helps all of our agents with their bonds, and she pays 0.5% bond com to eXp agents. That's the highest bond com you get paid in the industry. And eXp don't take 1 cent of it. You keep 100% of it. Brad Neal the other day got paid 40,000 Rand on a deal. That wasn't even his commission. It was just the bond com on the deal. I think it was an 8 million Rand bond, and he got 0.5% of that. So yeah, phenomenal additional income streams. We got a relationship with Funnereel and Associates on insurance products. You will get paid a part of the premiums, and then currency partners will pay on international currency exchanges. Okay, do you have to use any of these service providers? No. If you've got a bond originator that you're working with Better Bond or Uber or whatever, and you want to keep using that person because you trust them, you keep using who you want to. You're free. There's freedom, baby. This is you own your own business. You run your own business on eXp's platforms. No one's telling you what to do. All we're saying is we're making these available to you if you don't have, and you can make very good income because you don't split this income with eXp. You know, at most companies, if a bond commission is paid, the principal of the company takes at least half that bond commission. Maybe you as the agent get half. Maybe you don't even get half. Right, that was the platform. I'm not going to go into training, but one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is speak to the person who invited you here, who's going to talk to you about the icon training within eXp. That's the top agents in eXp globally who do training in our avatar world. There's a scheme within eXp that incentivizes the top selling agents in the world to train the other agents. They're telling you what they are currently doing. The icon training, ask the person who invited you to explain that. There's all of the training that I provide exclusively to my team. So I'm a real estate trainer. I've got some well-known courses. The most well-known one is how to work by referral. It is a brilliant referral course on how to work with your sphere of influence. I make that available now exclusively to people who join our eXp team. I don't sell training to the general public anymore. That's all available. So there's eXp University. That's the avatar world. That's the courses that you get access to from me. The referral course, I've got a social media training course and a couple of others. And then I sometimes will participate with global real estate trainers like Bill Pipes or Fred Wilson, who will do series just with my team within eXp. And the replays of those two are available as well. You get access to those. So the training is phenomenal, and there's more training than I could ever even talk about. There's training for interns. If you're an intern, there's logbook training. All the stuff you're going to need to become qualified is also available. Okay, don't worry about the Build Conference. Thirdly, agent owned. This is the stock awards. Remember I said to you, as an eXp agent, you get given shares in the business. How does that work? Well, a few years ago, 2017, I think it was, eXp listed on the NASDAQ stock exchange. There's Glenn Sanford and the board of directors at the NASDAQ. And you know, when a company lists on one of the US stock exchanges, at the end of the day, when the trading closes, the chairman of the company that listed that day gets to, it used to be a bell that they would ring at the stock exchange. Now it's like a button that they press. The chairman of the company gets to shut down the market for the day. I remember as a kid, I don't know how I knew this, but I knew that this happened. And I had this weird dream as a kid that one day I would be able to shut down the world markets, you know, by ringing the bell. And I can confidently tell you that that dream's never going to come true for me, but it did come true for Glenn Sanford. He got to shut down the world technology markets that day when eXp listed on the NASDAQ. So how do you get given shares in the business? Well, on this slide, there's two panels on the right-hand side, and they correspond to two different ways that we get access to shares. So the one way, this is the Agent Equity Awards. Essentially, it's these three at the bottom and then the Icon Award, which I'll show you on another screen. These are shares that you get given in the company. Okay, you do not have to pay for them. They simply give you shares. How does that work? Okay, there's three ways on this slide. Number one, the first sale that you do every year. So let's say you do your first deal in January or February or whenever. The first deal you do every year, this is a recurring annual award, they give you 2,000 rands worth of shares in the company. So they translate that into US dollars. They round it up. They give you an extra share because it'll always be kind of half a share. They round it up and they put, say, 5 shares in US dollars in your Morgan Stanley account, which they open for you. And you can log in using an app that we get called ShareWorks. You log into your ShareWorks account and you can see your shares and what they're worth. And you're now going to be monitoring the share prices. We have been. And we're going to see, oh, the share price is down a little bit to $9.70. Oh, that's bad. We're tracking the shares. It's quite exciting. And these are shares you've been given. Right, when you cap, if you cap, that's 600,000 gross commission. You've paid in your 150,000 for the year. When you cap, eXp said to you, hey, congratulations for capping. Here's another 4,000 rands worth of shares. Ka-ching, they add those to your Morgan Stanley account in US dollars. Have you seen what's happened to the exchange rate? What's the rand dollar exchange rate? I think it's up to almost 20. Well, with this, you've got one of your investments now is sitting in US dollars in your ShareWorks account. So it's also a hedge against a depreciating rand, which I can guarantee you we're going to continue to have a depreciating rand forevermore into the future. It's going to be depreciating. So it's good that it's in US dollars. Then the third way you get given shares is if you attract another agent to the company, you become what is technically called their sponsor. That does not mean you pay for them. That's not the case. It's just a technical term, meaning they are linked to you because you are the one that brought them into the business. So the way it works is no agent can join eXp worldwide without listing an existing eXp agent's name on their contract. So if you're here today and you're visiting, you're not an eXp agent, when you join eXp, you are going to have to put the person that invited you here today, you're going to put their name as your sponsor on the contract. You have to put someone's name. And what eXp system does, it's got this massively complex cross-border tracking system that has tracked the multi-generational links of who sponsored who sponsored who sponsored who sponsored who. Now, when you sponsor someone into eXp, when they do their first deal with eXp, you get given 4,000 rands worth of shares. Now, you just do the calculation on that one alone. Over the last 3.5 years, which is not very long to be with the company, but that's what it's been open here. I've been with the company since I started, 3.5 years, and I've sponsored 103 people. 103 people. Now, you do the maths on 103 people. If they all do a deal, some of them haven't done a deal yet with eXp, but once they've all done at least just one deal, that's 400,000 rands worth of shares that I have been given. Just given. I don't pay for these. I've sponsored some people, and when they do their first deal, I get given 4,000 rands worth of shares. Now, that can happen to you. That can happen to you. So does Joyce at Remax Goldfields, do Remax Goldfields give you 4,000 rands worth of shares in the company when you attract another agent to the business? You know, guys, this is phenomenal what this company does. Okay, then the second way on this side we get shares is through this thing on the bottom right-hand side, the Agency Equity Program. What the equity program does is it enables you to invest a percentage, 5% of your commissions in eXp shares at a discount. So what eXp do, they limit this to 5% of your commissions. But if you tick a box which asks you this on the contract, every time you do a deal, eXp will withhold 5% of the commissions which they were going to pay you. It's still your money. They're just redirecting it. And they purchase eXp shares for you at a 5% discount. So now you're buying with every deal you do. You're investing 5% of your commissions in a US dollar asset at a 5% discount. So day one, boom, it's like the share price has gone up 5% when you buy those shares. They're in US dollars, and it's in the world's fastest growing real estate company. Where's the share price going to be in 10 years? The share price is pretty low at the moment. It's come back considerably with the whole economic crisis in America. And I don't know if you know what's going on in the States with real estate at the moment. There was a massive court case that the NAR was taken to court, and it has hugely affected the real estate industry in America. It was on the buyer side commission controversy. I think it's a ridiculous court case, but you know what Americans are like. And so the real estate companies are all having to pay out settlements. So the share price has dipped. But it's a great time to get into eXp because we're getting the shares at a really cheap price now. Okay, one last way you get shares in the company. If you're an Icon agent, that's the top agents in the world. This is kind of like our double emerald super duper club award. It's the best award you can get in the company. To become an Icon agent in South Africa, you've got to do 3 million rand gross commission, or cap, which is 600,000 gross commission, plus I think it's 35 transactions. Those are the two ways you can become an icon agent. You've got to be a capping agent, and then after you cap 35 transactions, or you do 3 million rand gross commission. Okay, cheers, Joyce. No problem. I did tell everyone we were going to be an hour and a half. So we're going till 10:30 if you're wondering how long I'm going to go. But Joyce, it's been wonderful having you, and I look forward to picking up the conversation. Get Alette to get us together on a three-way call. I'd love to meet you personally. Okay, so if you become an icon agent, what eXp do is they give you your cap amount, which is, if you're an icon agent, you would have capped a long time ago, so you paid in 150,000 Rand. They give you the 150,000 Rand back in the form of eXp shares. How phenomenal is that? So we've just had a guy become an icon agent now in South Africa, and what happened to him, so essentially he's on a 96% split the whole year, because even the 25% that he paid in has now been given back to him in the form of eXp shares. He got given 150,000 Rands worth of shares. So well done to Mr. Nolan. Okay, anything else I want to say? I don't think there's anything else I want to say on that. That's the agent awards. The next one is the revenue sharing system. Okay, so I'm going to finish off with this. How does the revenue sharing system work? We've got a video on that resources page of a full 1 hour webinar where I dive into just this. So I explain how the revenue sharing system works. If you're interested in this side of the opportunity, it's worth your while. I promise you, go and watch that webinar. It's on the follow-up resources page. I'm going to give you a quick overview of how it works now. Okay, if you were to attract another agent to eXp, you become their sponsor, you will now get paid indefinitely. And this is whether or not you are a working agent or not. You don't even have to be selling property anymore. You get paid, as long as that agent is working as an agent, 3.5% of their transactions. So eXp take part of the 20% or the 25% that they're getting on that person, and they pay 3.5 of it back to you because you brought them into the business and you need to be compensated for that. Okay, so 3.5% on tier 1 agents. Now, why does it say up to 21,000 Rand? Because think about it. When this agent caps, they are no longer paying in any revenue to eXp South Africa, which means eXp South Africa have no revenue to share anymore. It's a revenue sharing program. So once the agent caps, you no longer get a percentage of their revenues. That's why if you add it up, by the time an agent caps, you would have made 21,000 Rand in that year from their transactions. That's the maximum amount you can make. Okay, so hopefully I've explained that clearly enough. What is a tier 1 agent? Tier 1 agents are agents that you have personally attracted. They have chosen you as their sponsor. That's tier 1. But what happens if, let's say this is you, and let's say this person's name here is Mary. You've sponsored Mary. You're making 3.5% of Mary's transactions. What if Mary were to sponsor Bob? You understand, Bob is now on your second tier. You sponsored Mary, Mary sponsored Bob. Now, obviously, Mary is going to get 3.5% of Bob's transactions because Mary is Bob's sponsor, but eXp are also going to pay you a percentage of Bob's transactions. Bob's on your second tier, and you are now going to get paid 4% of all of Bob's commissions. Now, that's interesting. You get paid more than Mary does, actually. We make more on our second tier agents as we do on our first tier agents. Why is that? Well, it's a very clever system which incentivizes us to help the people we sponsor to sponsor people, because we're going to make even more money on the people they sponsor. So what this does is it drives the growth of eXp. It's a very clever system. Okay, so we're making 4% on tier 2 agents, but it doesn't stop there. It's a multi-generational system where eXp's global system, it tracks the genealogy. It tracks the descendants, if we will, of how the sponsorships are working all through the generations. And we actually get paid through 7 generations of agents. So you sponsor Mary, Mary sponsors Bob, Bob then sponsors Sophie, Sophie sponsors Francesca, Francesca sponsors Olivia, Olivia sponsors Luke, Luke sponsors Danielle, and you get paid a percentage of all of those people's transactions. And the various percentages, we can give them to you. It goes up, and then it goes down slightly, and then it goes all the way up to 5% on your 7th tier. Okay, now, I'm not sure if you are catching the power of this yet. The power of this is in the exponential way in which the generations grow. Okay, so I'm going to type some numbers in here for you. Okay, you tell me what you think these numbers represent. What do these numbers mean, guys?
It must be your different tiers.
Yeah, exactly, Yvonne. Okay, so I have got 103 people that I've personally sponsored. I have got almost 3 times the number of people on my 2nd tier. And remember, I'm earning 4% on those 281 agents, where I'm only earning 3.5% on the 103 that I brought in. It's exponential. I've only been doing this 3.5 years. I've seen the numbers of guys who've been in this for 7, 8, 9 years. It ends up, I will have, God willing, it could fall apart tomorrow. I understand that. We're all in the Lord's hands. But God willing, all other things being equal, I will end up with thousands. There will be a 4-digit number on my 7th tier because it grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as you go down. That's the exponential way that this thing grows. Guys, do you want to get financially free using real estate as your vehicle? You can't do that with a traditional real estate company. You just can't do it. I'm sorry. What eXp have done is they've made a revenue sharing system available to the agents so that if you participate, you don't have to do this, by the way. You can join eXp and just earn 71% of your commissions. You get given shares in the company. You've got the greatest training. You're independent. You've got a great collaborative culture, and that's all you're interested in. You're never going to sponsor anyone. That's fine. You don't have to do this. I'm just telling you, you're never going to see another opportunity like this in your life that's in the industry that you know that you can do while you're doing what you're currently doing with your current company. This does not become your full-time employment. But while you're working as an agent, you're meeting other agents and you're saying to them, hey, I want you to take a look at something with me. I want you to take a look at eXp's model. Don't you want to come on there's a webinar next week. Come and join me. There's a video which you can watch, which you can get, by the way, at themodelexplained.co.za. This presentation I gave today is sitting on a video. You just play them the video. It's not rocket science. You're just introducing the concept to other people. And I'm telling you, you can have exactly what I've experienced in the last 3 years of my life, having been set free, God willing, being set free completely financially in 3.5 years because of the exponential nature of eXp's model. It is completely game-changing. Okay, one last point on this, which if you don't catch what I'm about to tell you, you have missed something that is profound in eXp's model. Okay? These people, the numbers that you see on my screen behind me here in the chat room, not all of them are in South Africa. Okay, I have got agents in America, Dubai, and the UK. Now, how did that happen? Well, I sponsored Javi Rousseau. Javi sponsored someone who sponsored someone who had a friend in the UK. They sent their friend the video, that their friend liked the video, joined eXp, and all they did was they put this South African agent's name on their contract when they signed their UK contract. eXp's global system immediately kicks into force. Ka-ching! The South African agent is now linked to the UK agent. And every time that UK agent does a deal, all of us get a percentage of that UK agent's deals. Okay, so if in case I have to spell it out, how profound this is, guys, you can, through the revenue sharing system, you can build up a global income. You can have a global real estate company where you are earning commissions on agents working in 24 countries and counting around the world for 900 Rand a month. And you are not starting a company in France or in Dubai or in the UK. You are not renting office space, hiring staff, getting a work permit, learning the local language. Guys, you are not going to start a company in France. I can tell you that now. You're not going to start a company in America or Dubai or Hong Kong or Australia or India or Spain or Mexico or Colombia or Chile. You're not going to start a real estate company in those countries, but through eXp system, you can and will, if you have a growing revenue share group. If you do the hard work to get the momentum going, which is what I've done. The hard work's been done by me now. I've sponsored 103 people personally, and it's off to the races. It is unstoppable that it will go to other countries because people know people know people know people. That's just the way it works. And you know how profitable it is for us when an agent in France or the UK or whatever does a transaction, we make, it's about 5 times what we make on a South African agent because of the exchange rate. I'm going to give you a conservative number. Now, you're wondering, how much money can you make on the revenue share? Let's take a 5-year plan. Let's say you want to be retired in 5 years' time. You want out. Can you do that with eXp's revenue sharing system? Okay, in 5 years. Well, I said to you, in 3.5 years, I've sponsored 103 people personally. Could you, over 5 years, sponsor, not 103, could you sponsor 10 people? 10 productive agents, let's say. So we're going to say these are 10 capping agents. Could you sponsor 10 capping agents in the next 5 years? And if you could do it in 5 years, could each of them do the same? Okay. Now, this is something that's never going to work this way in reality. Some will do more, some will do less. I just need a way to show you how the numbers stack up. So let's say on average, you got to sponsor 10 and each of them will do the same. That means you'll have a small group of, in this case, it's going to be capping productive agents of 110 people. Okay. My group is 808 after 3.5 years. After 5 years, you're just going to have 110 people in your revenue share group. If they were all capping agents, you would be earning, okay, I want you to put a number in the chat roll here. How much would you need to make per year in order to count yourself as financially free? I'm not talking about buying a private jet and living on an island. I'm just saying that the pressure would be off you to have to work. How much would you need per year to be financially independent? Somebody give me, I'd like to see actually more than one. If you can just put a number in the chat roll. What do you want per year? If you can't do the maths and you want to put it per month, just put per month in the chat roll. Okay, so Margot says 1.5 million Rand a year. Monica, 2 million Rand a year. Okay, so let's go with those, 1.5 or 2 million Rand a year. Well, if you were to sponsor 10 people and each of them sponsor 10, you just got a group of 110 capping agents, you'd be earning 2.6 million Rand a year, passive income. And the beauty with that is, guys, so yeah, Cecilia van die Kerk, You've got your 2.5 million rand a year there. The beauty of this is, with this calculation, we're not working out income on your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh tiers. We're just ignoring all the other tiers. We're just looking at the first 2 tiers. I am assuming they're all capping agents, which they won't be, I can tell you that. So work it out, let's say half of them, let's say they're all half cap agents. They do 300,000 a year. That would be 1.3 million rand a year on revenue share. All I would ask you to think about, guys, I don't want to preempt an objection from you, but some people look at this and their initial reaction is, I feel uncomfortable doing that. It feels a bit like a Tupperware party or an Amway meeting. I don't want to kind of invite other people to join my company. Just think about that. Just let it like mull over it in your mind. Get your head around what you are being offered here. Because if you say no to this, I'm going to ask you, how in the next 5 years are you going to generate a passive income of, let's say, 2 million rand a year? To draw 2 million rand a year out of an investment, if you want to earn off the interest on an investment, not cutting into your capital and then keeping up with inflation, you can draw out about 4% of an investment. So 2 million rand a year, Paul, can you work this out for me? If 2 million rand is 4%, so divide it by 4, times it by 100, what would the capital investment require? You got it. 2 million divided by 4 times by 100.
5 million.
5 million. No, it can't be. It's got to be more than 5 million.
Divided by 12. 60 million.
No.
60.
Is it 60 million?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to need to invest 60 million rand, guys, in order to draw out 2 million rand a year. Is that right? 4% of 60 million. No, that's not right. Oh, it's 50 million. Yeah. 4% of 50 million is 2 million. That's right. So you're going to have to, that is right. It is right. Are you going to be able to save 50 million rand in the next 5 years? 50 million, you're going to need to be debt free. So in addition, so outside of all your monthly expenses that you're paying at the moment, you have to live for the next 5 years. At the end of the next 5 years, you're going to need 50 million rand invested with Investec, and you're going to be able to draw out 4% of that now every year for the rest of your life to earn 2 million rand a year. You tell me what's easier. Save 50 million rand in the next 7 years or 5 years, or sponsor 10 people. When you look at it in the light of that, I think you understand what you are being offered here. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. You are going to have to speak to lots of agents to sponsor 10, 20, 30, however many you want to sponsor. You have to speak to lots, because more will say no than will say yes. You can expect that. I'm telling you, it's just part of the process. But once you get your head around the hardship of it, listen, you're going to work hard anyway. Aren't you? You're going to slog anyway as an estate agent. You might as well make the slog and the rejection and the frustration, you might as well put it towards something that's going to set you completely free. If you're going to be determined about something, be determined about something that can set you free. To me, that's just wisdom. Next steps, schedule a follow-up appointment with the person who invited you here. If you want them to set up a 3-way call with me, let's see if we can find some time in my diary. If they can get it right, they'll organize a 3-way call with me. But get back together with the person. Do some homework before then. Go to this follow-up resources page. Please, man. Go and do some homework. You don't want to just listen to me. Maybe I'm lying to you. Maybe I'm the biggest charlatan con man in the world, and I've just spinned you a yarn for the last hour and a half. Go and do some homework. I'm telling you what will happen. The more homework you do, the more you're going to realize this thing is everything I've told you that it is. Okay, so do some homework and schedule another meeting. Go and sign, not sign, go and access eXp's contract. You don't want to sign it yet until you're ready to join, but at least get access to the contract. How do you do that? You go to that website. Maybe somebody can put that in the chat roll. expsouthafrica.co.za/join-our-team. If you go to that link, what's going to happen is there's a little form. Looks like this. You're going to go to eXp's website. You're going to scroll down. You're going to find become an agent today. Don't worry, you're not becoming an agent today. All you're doing is getting access to the contract. You click yes, I'm ready, terms and conditions. You fill in the form on the website, and once you fill in that form, you're going to get 2 emails. The first one just says, hey, thanks for filling in the form. We're busy checking you out. The second one says, congratulations, you've been vetted, and here's the contract. They will email you the contract. Read through the contract. That's my second piece of advice to you. It is part of your due diligence. You don't want to sign a contract that you haven't read, and it's 42 pages of legal speak. I can tell you there's nothing you need to worry about in eXp's contract. There's no restraints of trade. It's very open-handed, but you do want to read it and make a list of questions so that when you have your meeting with the person who invited you today, you can ask questions on the contract as well. And then the last thing I'd recommend you do is a Save Me beta test. Okay, so why do I call it a Save Me? It's a little bit of humor, but what I want you to do is, and I'm dead serious about this, make a list of like 3, 4, 5 agents that you know, that you trust, that you respect. People that you've got a good enough relationship with to have the following conversation. So I want you to phone them and say, Yvonne, how's it? It's Steve Johnstone. Look, I need your help. Okay, that's why it's called the Save Me beta test. I need you to save me. I need your help, Yvonne. I just saw something today which has absolutely blown my mind. It's a new platform in real estate. I cannot believe what I've, and actually, against my better judgment, I'm actually quite excited about this thing, but I need a fresh pair of eyes just to look at it and save me if I'm about to do something stupid. Would you do me a favor? Would you have a look at this video with me and just tell me what you think? You get it? You don't need to know that word for word. You get the idea with the little script you're going to use. I need your help. I need you to look at something that I'm excited about and tell me if you think I'm about to make a mistake. It's the easiest phone call in the world to make. Do that with, let's say, 5 people. Do it today. Before the sun goes down tonight, make those 5 phone calls. How do you show them the model? Do not try to explain it to them over the phone. Can I say it again? Do not try. You cannot say that I didn't warn you. Do not try to explain it to them over the phone, because it's going to sound like a Tupperware party. All you do is say, listen, I can't explain this thing. I want you to sit down and watch a video with me. You get together with them, you go to themodelexplain.co.za and you watch that video. It's the same as the presentation as I did today. You watch the video, and I can guarantee here's what's going to happen. If you show 5, one of them will join you. One of them at least will join you, maybe more. They will say, geez, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And immediately you've got someone on your first tier and you're earning revenue share. Okay, so that's it from me, guys. I'm done. 3 minutes over time. Forgive me for that. I want to say thank you for joining me. It's always a privilege explaining eXp's model. I hope I did a good enough job today to give you some clarity. And yes, Redwan, I am going to open up for questions now. If you're done for the day and you want to leave, you're welcome to log out of the webinar now. Thank you for joining me. Please get together with the person that invited you here. But I am happy to hang around and answer questions if you've got them. You can either put them in the chat roll or you can stick a hand up and then I will call on you. So let's start with you, Redwan. Then you get your mic on. Should be a little button either on your phone or on your screen that unmutes your microphone, which you will need to do if you want to ask a question. Anybody else got a question? Okay, Redwan, I see your mic's off. Go for it.
Yes, no, I actually don't have a question. I pressed the wrong button,
Oh,
but
you
I
pressed
am
it.
quite
Okay.
excited because I did speak to my sponsor yesterday, and I phoned him yesterday, and I said I wanted to join the eXp family.
Right.
So I have a meeting with him in the next day or so, and then obviously just to show me how things work and give me some more information. But I am quite excited to join the family because I've been
Excellent.
to some of your training programs, I've been
Right.
to some of your meetings, and I'm continuously also joining the webinars just to give me a little bit of
Peace of mind. Yeah.
guidance and peace of mind
Yeah. That's good.
as to what I'm getting into. But yeah, I mean, most of the information that you have given me is what I have received in the other meetings and discussions. So that just solidifies the position that I'm putting myself in, that
Great,
I
Ridwan. Well,
should be joining
going to
you
be
guys.
excellent. It's going to be great to have you on the team. We look forward to welcoming you to the family. It's going to be the best journey of your real estate career. And yeah, well done to you for doing your homework. I think that's important. And as you've experienced, the more homework you do, the more videos you watch, the more research you do on the net, the more meetings you come to, the more your fears do start to get allayed that, geez, you know, this is actually a phenomenal company. And it's got phenomenal agents. We're an amazing community.